everybody, this is Kevin and welcome back to another video. And today I would like to share my thoughts on Forspoken, which has the strangest group of people around it simping for it, defending it, when most people with a brain knew it was going to be shit the first 10 seconds into the trailer that they released back in 2021. And there were quite a number of red flags surrounding this game prior to the launch, I believe yesterday or today or whenever the hell it came out, who knows. But I'll start with the red flags. So first and foremost, the first trailer came out around 2021. That was when the PS5 was brand new, and people were like, oh, look at this tech demo. Luminous Productions, the same people who brought us Final Fantasy 15, which, the same people who are loving Forspoken hated Final Fantasy 15. Figure that works. So, it was announced a few years ago. The initial release date was May of 2022. Then it got delayed until, I believe, October or November, and then delayed again until January. The first delay was probably because of technical stuff, but the next delay was because it was going to release around the same time as God of War Ragnarok, another shitty game, which I covered on the channel, and refer back to that video because I was correct with my assessment without even playing the game, mind you. So, it's been delayed quite a few times. That's one red flag. Another red flag is just the team behind it. Mostly Japanese people worked on the mechanics and the gameplay and things of that nature, but the writing staff, you have a refugee from Naughty Dog as one of the head writers, as well as someone who worked on the Deadpool movies, so that alone tells you. And then the actress who plays the main character was in that Netflix Resident Evil series, another red flag. So you have that, all the delays. Then one of the other red flags, I would say, was a week or so ago, there was a bit of controversy about how, oh, there's no review codes going out, which I'm kind of hesitant about that because I saw reviews from IGN and GameSpot and, big outlets like that, which is a given. But I also saw videos from a Dreamcast guy who is a shill, and I skimmed through it. He gave it a 6 out of 10, which with actual standards, that's a 4 out of 10. The way people grade games isn't right, when in actuality, like a 6 and a 7 out of 10 is a decent game. But just based on his reaction and the thumbnail alone, it's a 4 out of 10. So, why are we giving it so high? Even Niche Gamer gave it a 7 out of 10. So, reviewers are all shills because they're afraid if they give it a bad review, oh, we're not going to get a free review code. That's also Final Fantasy Union did a review of the demo, and I believe I got banned from the channel from commenting because I was being real in the comments and they weren't having it. But that's another story. So, the shills, unless you give it, okay to overwhelming praise, you're not going to get a code. And the people that did get codes did just that. 6, 7 out of 10. It's like IGN gave it a 6 out of 10, I think. But it's IGN. It's a big name. So that's the other red flag. Then you have the defense group, which, again, is a strange group of characters. The main defense group that I've seen are the woke people. And they're just defending it because, oh, shit, look, we got diverse character in the cover. And then this guy, David Jaffe, was saying, oh, if you don't like Forspoken, you don't like women, you don't like people of color, and you don't like PlayStation. Well, I like all those things. As a matter of fact, I love women, and I used to love, well, I still like PlayStation. But, it's just fucking ridiculous, the labels these guys give you. And they just defend it for that, not on the merit of it being a good game, but because it checks their boxes. So you have that group. Then you have the Square Enix Shills, who, these are the group of YouTubers, relatively small, like under 100,000 subs, who mainly talk about Final Fantasy, and in turn they talk about the offshoots like, the Marvel Avengers game, the Guardians of the Galaxy game, Life is Strange, stupid games like that, and not once did I see them give the time of day to Triangle Strategy, the Dealfield Chronicle, Star Ocean: The Divine Force, legitimately great games from Square Enix. It's only Final Fantasy, Final Fantasy, Final Fantasy, and for whatever unholy reason, Forspoken, which isn't even a JRPG. It isn't. It's JRPG in name only. So you have that group of people, and they're just doing that because they want to get their review codes for Final Fantasy 16 and 7 Rebirth, and then they got it for Crisis Core. So that's why they're, shilling for Forspoken. And then the final group of characters are the PlayStation 5 fanboys who are continuing to justify their useless $500 purchase. There's no need to get a PS5. I did a video 3 years later, and the PS5 still has no games. It's still not a single game on the PS5. Not a single game. And 3 years later, for a $500 piece of hardware, the only difference from the PS4 to the PS5 is the loading screens are shorter on the PS5. That's the only difference. There's no difference in the graphics. As far as I'm concerned, this is a fact, by the way. The graphics on Atelier Ryza and Star Ocean: The Divine Force are better than God of War Ragnarok. Absolute fact, and they're obviously better than Forspoken. And the graphics in Final Fantasy 15 are better than all of them, too. And Final Fantasy 15 was a great game, too, that these fools, they hated that game, but they loved this game. It's insanity. So, that's the defense group. And also, again, to the Square Enix shills, you know, you gotta, like, respect the classic, and you gotta respect no more. That's another thing we're gonna get to Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin, which they're talking about the cringy dialogue. That's cringe Kino versus cringe. But you guys, especially the Square Enix fanboys, you have to respect Tetsuya Nomura. The dude is an absolute legend, and he's earned the right to do whatever the fuck he wants. So stop disrespecting that man. So anyway, the next point that I wanted to get to was the fact that they're dragging my boy Jack Garland from A Stranger of Paradise, saying, oh, the dialogue in that game is cringe, comparing it to Forspoken's cringe dialogue. You know, the chick, oh, so this is what I do now. I do magic now. Shit, you know. But Jack was fucking based, and that's what you call cringe Kino. Like, that's a game that plays like a PS3 game by default, making it better than whatever the current year shit is. Similar to Star Ocean: The Divine Force, a game that plays like a PS2 game. By default, better than any of the current shit coming out today. That's, again, a fact. So, when you get down to the nitty-gritty of Jack and his mannerisms, he's fucking based, okay? He's a great character. And the story there, especially of Astos, the fucking fist-pumping. Kino, okay? So, I don't want to hear cringe. You don't know what the hell cringe is. And we'll get to a video later from Kingdom Hearts 2 where these fucking retarded PS5 fanboys are saying that Sora and Riku are cringe. That isn't even cringe Kino. That's Kino. But anyway, enough of my jabbering. Let's get to some of the screenshots and again compare, because I was sort of all over the place. I do this in my videos. I'll get to my screenshots now. And my fellow subscribers understand, but to the new people, you know, listen, and maybe you'll understand. Now, here's Forspoken on Metacritic. So January 20, it came out already. So there's no, okay, these review codes are coming out soon, I guess. A 68. In normal times, this is a 7 out of 10. That's pretty decent. But because of the shilling, and a 95, 80, like, nonsense. This is a hardcore gamer, this dude knows. So, then by searching it, you can just stop. Mr. Matty Plays here. He knows. What the, look at his face there. What the fuck is this, right? And then even Dreamcast guy, which I skimmed through it, he knows, but he gave it a 6 out of 10 because he has to get more review codes from Square Enix in the future. So they know, but they're beholden to the algorithms and getting the review copies. So again, let's look, 68, and then they're comparing it to my boy Jack here. You know, similar scores, give or take. Way better game. Way better game. Even Star Ocean: The Divine Force, my hidden gem of 2022, and we don't have user scores yet. I guarantee once the user scores come out, it'll be around a 3 or 4, guaranteed, for Forspoken, that is. But 68 versus 69. In no way is Star Ocean just marginally better than Forspoken. Absolutely not. Again, and here's the thing, like I said earlier that, you know, Square Enix isn't what it used to be, but they still put out some pretty decent games. The Dealfield Chronicle, a game that Eric Landon swore by, you know, a tactic-based game, it's just marginally better than Forspoken? I don't think so. And then it's Triangle Strategy. Most people played it understand this is a good game. Okay? So, going over to Forspoken, right? You see it's created by Japanese people. But then you get down to the writers. Okay? Gary Whitta. Disregard him. Amy Hennig. That's the one we want to look for. The refugee from Naughty Dog. Okay? You can just tell by her face. And then Todd here, who worked on I think Deadpool? One of them was Deadpool. Who the hell knows? But you have that. And then Luminous Productions, which I'm convinced is a tax write-off for Square Enix. This is the important thing right here. The aim of the company is to create new AAA video games for a global audience using Square Enix's proprietary Luminous engine. Global audience. That's code word for woke. And if you see, the only other game they did was Final Fantasy XIV, which again, great game and very misunderstood. We'll go to this too. So I thought this was funny from Neps King, who was comparing the score to Neptunia Sisters versus Sisters. I would play Neptunia Sisters versus Sisters before you could catch me near Forspoken. And then the final piece from this absolute simpleton, this fool, SM Pollard. Square Enix fans be like, Forspoken has the most cringe dialogue, and then talk about how great this game is. The disrespect to Tetsuya Nomura, Riku and Sora, and Kingdom Hearts 2, an absolute Kino game. There is nothing cringe about it. We're going to watch this. Nothing cringe whatsoever. Spoilers for Kingdom Hearts 2 if you haven't played, because this is towards the end of the game. Nothing cringe about the scene.
Yeah, well, I've got my share of problems too.
Like what?
Like wanting to be like you.
Well, there is one advantage to being me. Something you can never imitate.
Really? What's that?
Having you for a friend.
Then I guess I'm okay the way I am. I've got something you could never imitate too. Yeah, well,
childhood friends, best friends, having each other for friends, fucking Kino. Nothing cringe about that. So shut the fuck up. Absolute fool. Okay, this is a guy coping that he spent really $570 on garbage. That's your problem, bro. That's not my problem. So, and then I guess just go to V. You could read all the great shit going on here. People shilling their look at this, shilling their Twitch thoughts on here. I'd watch her play Forspoken, but I wouldn't watch Forspoken. But anyway, that's enough of that. So another thing too, to the Square Enix Shills, I've heard this time and time again. You're pronouncing it wrong. It's not Square Enix. It's Square Enix. You got to get that right. If you're going to do content solely on Square Enix, Enix, not Enix. You sound like you're a fool. But anyway, these are absolute facts. Feel free to, leave your comments down below, and I will read them and heart them and reply. But I am correct, and I know it. And you're all had for spending $70 on the worst game of 2023, and it's January. So kudos to you, I suppose. But I had to get my thoughts out there. It's not a JRPG. My boy Game Night did a video talking about Forspoken and his qualifications for a JRPG, and I believe his reasons were anime as fuck, having things so absurd. He talked about the scene from Trails of Cold Steel 3 with Juna Crawford getting her breasts fondled in the hot spring. That is a JRPG, okay? I don't know what the fuck this is. This is a tax write-off by Square Enix. That's what it is. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and stay tuned for more wacky videos coming soon. Have a great day, guys.